Hello everyone, it's Kevin and welcome back to another video tutorial. In this video, we'll be looking at how to verify smart contracts on Moonbeam using the Moonscan UI. Now this is perhaps the most known way of verifying your smart contracts, but there are a couple of quirks and we'll talk about those today. So I have a smart contract prepared here, and it is specifically prepared to be a great example. This is an ERC20 token that was built with OpenZeppelin Wizard, and feel free to check out OpenZeppelin Wizard if you want to customize your own ERC20 token and make a contract yourself. It's importantly customized for a couple different reasons. For one, this contract uses several different imports. If your contract has no imports, it's a little bit easier to verify, but that's kind of unrealistic in the real world scenarios. It also has a parameter for the constructor. So you need to enter in an initial mint amount. So let's go ahead and compile this contract and get it deployed so that we can move on to verifying it. So I've got it compiled and I'm going to choose injected provider MetaMask as my environment, and we'll be deploying this to Moonbase Alpha, which has a chain ID of 1287. For the initial mint amount, you can choose any amount. We'll choose an arbitrary large one here. We'll go ahead and press deploy. And we'll go ahead and confirm the transaction. And our contract is deployed. So let's go ahead and open it up on Moonscan. And we'll click on the contract address here. And we'll head over to the contract tab. We'll go ahead and click on verify and publish. And the address of our contract is pre-filled in here. The next thing that we'll need to do is select a compiler type. In this case, you can choose solidity single file. We also need to choose a compiler version, and this will be the version that's indicated underneath the compile tab. And so you can see here we're using version 0.8.18, and we can also see the commit hash at the end. So we'll choose that same version here. Next, we need to enter an open source license type. Make sure you choose the correct one for your contract. In this case, it's the MIT license identifier. Don't just pick one at random or guess. It does need to be exact. So ensure you have the correct one. Then we'll go ahead and press continue. Okay, and now we're ready to enter the Solidity contract code, except there's one more step that we need to take. Because I have these imports, we need to flatten our Solidity file before we can paste it in to Moonscan. And the reason for this is the Moonscan interpreter, when it's looking at it, needs to be able to see all of these different imports within the same contract file. So if we flatten our Solidity contract, it will make one big jumbo file, which doesn't actually need to import anything anymore. And it is very easy to flatten a contract here in Remix. All you need to do is head back to the File Explorer, right-click on the file that you'd like to flatten, and then go ahead and press Flatten. And Solidity will go ahead and generate a new file, which is going to be huge because it includes all of the libraries that we're using and all of the associated dependencies. But this is exactly the file that we need to go ahead and copy and paste into Moonscan. So go ahead and paste it here. Now, lastly, there is a constructor arguments page here where we need to specify the ABI-encoded bytes for the constructor parameters. And Moonscan is smart enough to automatically populate this for us because we went through the contract page. If you look at the contract file here, and you look all the way at the end of the bytecode, this includes all of the bytecode for the contract, but it doesn't include the ABI-encoded parameters of the constructor. For that, we can check the transaction, and notice how this ends in 0033. If we go over to transactions, and we scroll down to input data, and we scroll all the way to the bottom, we'll see that the end of our contract data is here, and then our ABI-encoded parameter data for our constructor is here. That was just a little bit of context. Now, Moonscan is smart enough, it has this already preloaded for us, so we don't need to change it. But in case this field was empty and you did have constructor arguments to put in there, then you would have to do that. So this is actually all we need to do. Approve the CAPTCHA, and then press verify and publish. Cool. And we're done. And if we click here on the contract address, you'll see here that we have the verified contract. And not only can we look at it, but we can also interact with it. We can read it, we can write it, and do all of that fun stuff. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.